There's all this talk about what you can and can't do in the WNBA from some pretty famous players. How have you absorbed kind of some of that criticism or talk?
Yeah, I think it's honestly like pretty similar to my college career too. I think there's, no matter what stage you're on, if you're at the highest stage, there's always going to be people that are critiquing you. There's always going to be people that are complimenting you, and I think that just speaks to like how I was raised too. Like, you know, I've never been one to like weigh the opinions of the haters too much, or, you know, I was told like, you know, at the level you feel all the praise, that's going to be the same level you feel all the hate. So like, I feel like I just try to stay right in the middle, and everybody's entitled to their own opinions. But I think the biggest thing for myself is like just having confidence in who I am and what I've been able to do with my career. And by no means do I think I'm going to go in there and score 30 points a game, but I think I'm confident in my abilities, and you know, that's what I'm excited for.
Yeah, I feel like in college football we do this. We build people up for 4 years, and then the draft comes, and all we talk about is what they can't do, right?
For sure.
So kind of a similar feeling, but what I want to talk about is what can you do? What will translate at the next level that you're like, people are sleeping on this?
I think my passing, and I think that's like even the biggest thing throughout my college career too, is like everybody always fell in love with like my shooting or like my scoring, but I've always been somebody that has loved to pass the ball. I think that's something I developed at a young age, just like being able to get my teammates open, be able to hit my teammates in transition. I love to play up tempo, I love to play fast, and obviously going to the WNBA, the talent level around me is gonna be really, really good, so it should only make my job easier feeding them the ball.
What's something people underestimate about your game?
Underestimate? That's a good question. I think my speed. I think I'm a little like elusive at times. Like I'm not the fastest player out there, but I think I'm gotten pretty good at like changing speed, change of direction, things like that.
Okay, so not that we know where you're going, but the Fever will have 36 of their 40 games next season televised nationally or streamed nationally. What you've just come out of this bright spotlight. What kind of pressure or expectation does that add?
I think it definitely adds some pressure, especially like you're going to a new chapter of your life. You don't know really what to expect. It's different from college. Like I knew I could play at the highest level with the greatest teams, the Blue Bloods of college basketball. Like Iowa was always really good during my career, but this is a new chapter of my life and moving on and starting a fresh challenge. But at the same time, everybody's eyeballs are still on you. I think it presents a new challenge and a new pressure, but to me, like that's exciting. That's what I signed up for. That's one of the reasons I left college, is like I think I'm ready for this from a maturity standpoint, from a basketball standpoint. But I know like everything's not on me. Like I'll have so many amazing teammates and vets to lean on and coaches to lean on, and that's what I'm excited about. But definitely makes it easy for my parents to watch games. They don't have to travel to Indianapolis like every single time, so that'll be nice.
I did Google it. It's about a 5-hour drive though, so they can come
5
anytime
hours from Iowa City, about 7 from Des Moines, so works out pretty well.
Perfect. The spotlight, I'm just fascinated, being around you all year. Everybody wants a piece of you, like I just haven't seen something like this right now. How are you navigating that from a mental health perspective? I heard you talking about working with sports psychologists or team psychologists. How are you doing it?
I think that's super important. Those are people I meet with basically every single week. I think there's a lot of people that always check on me and make sure I have what I need, because it can be a crazy time. I think getting off social media is also very healthy, like especially during our NCAA run. Like things just get so wild. You don't need to be on there reading stuff. But also like I have a great team around me, my agents, my family, that are able to coordinate a lot of my life for me, and I can just say yes or no and go about my business, and they make it easy. But also it's hard. Like my main focus on basketball and like still finishing college. Like I still have to get my degree by May 15th. So there's a lot of moving parts, but the biggest thing I always remind myself is there's always people here to support you, and like it's okay to say if you're not okay, and ask for help. I think that's the biggest thing. Like my mom always said, like it's okay to ask for help, and that's something like I've always tried to get better at. I always feel like I can do everything, but I feel like as I've kind of gone about my business and always being in the spotlight last year, that's something I've had to work on.
Do you ask for help?
Yeah, totally. I mean, I think the thing I loved about the University of Iowa is like they provide you with so many resources, whether it's mental health resources, whether it's tutoring, whether it's nutrition, whether it's massages. Like they have every single thing for you. I think that'll also be important going into my pro career, is like having all those resources and access to help me be the best I can be in every area of my life. And I don't want to be just the best basketball player. Like I want to be an amazing person in everything I do. So I think that's super important.
Okay, let's talk about the basketball part. I want to know, what does your training look like from when you finished your college career till training camp? What are you doing every day? What's the training going to be like?
Yeah, it's been like a week now since it's ended, and I honestly haven't touched a basketball, and I think that's honestly been kind of healthy for me. I think, I've been lifting weights, I've been running, staying in shape, but the college season definitely wore me down a little bit. So I think just getting out of the gym for a second and resetting your mind, and once the draft's over, I'll go back to working out and playing basketball every single day. And I think at times it's like, oh my gosh, I need to work out all the time because that's how I'm driven. But I think the healthiest part is, I do need a little break before I go into this season because I'm going to be playing basketball for a year straight. Like, that's the biggest thing going from college basketball to pro basketball is, like, people don't understand the quick turnaround. We're going to be playing my first game on the day I would have graduated college. So, yeah, I think resetting my mind, but also staying in shape, and then I'll get back to it after I get picked on Monday.
Your mom said she's trying to get you to like quit worrying about your grades, but that you are insistent on finishing college with A's.
My mom wants me to text my professors and say I'm not doing school anymore. I'm like, no, that's not how we're doing this.
Like, you're going out with straight A's. Yeah. What do you got? Straight A's?
Yeah, basically. I'm like, I didn't do all this work for nothing. I can't slack in my last semester.
Competitor. I've seen it myself. How do you describe what makes you so unique as a competitor?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing about myself is, like, I'm completely different off the court than I am on the court. Like, when I step in between the lines, like, I'm there to kind of kill. Like, that's like my mentality is like, you just want to go out there and be the best. You want to beat whoever's sitting, on the other bench, no matter who it is. I think that's the biggest thing. Like, you look over there and you just want to win so bad, and you're going to do whatever it takes to get there. And I think that's, like, honestly the biggest thing I'm most proud of throughout my career is just, like, my maturity to evolve through, bad games, through bad emotions, and be able to channel that and still find ways to win. I think that's the biggest way I grew my junior and senior year, and I think that allowed us to win a lot more games, for us to have a lot more success, and that's honestly what I'm most proud of.
I saw you first round of the tournament to the very next game. You grew right before our eyes.
For sure, yeah.
Would you agree with that?
Yeah, I think I was definitely feeling the weight of the world on my shoulders the first couple of rounds of the tournament. Honestly, like, I think the round of 32 is like one of the hardest rounds of the tournament. Like, you're at home playing in your own environment. It's your last time ever playing on your court. The crowd's going crazy. Like, you're supposed to win, but the team you're playing is a top 25 team. So we definitely played really tense. I definitely played tense. But by the time we got to Albany and obviously Cleveland, like, I felt like we just kind of played free and had a smile on our face and had a lot of fun.
You have a lot of confidence in yourself. You keep talking about the work that you've put in. What is your expectation for yourself in the WNBA?
I mean, I think my expectation is to be one of the best players in the world one day, to be the best player, one of the best player in the world one day. I think I wouldn't expect anything less than that. That's just kind of, how I go about my business. And I think if I didn't expect that, people around me would be like, you're selling yourself short, because that's how much they believe in me, but also they know how much work I put in. And I mean, I don't know, I think just enjoy it. Like, this is my job now, but to me, like, this is fun. Like, this is how lucky am I that I get to play a sport that I've loved since I was 5 years old as my job and do that every single day. And that's really when I'm at my best, is when I'm smiling and having fun and remembering, like, I do this because I love it. It's not who I am, it's just what I do. And I think when I, remember those things, I'm going to be in good hands.
Last question. I have your dream sheet and future goal sheet from when you were in second grade. The number one dream was what?
Go to the WNBA, yeah.
So what does this feel like that you are on the precipice?
It's pretty special, and looking back at that sheet, like, obviously I've been able to check off a lot of those goals, and to be, a couple days away from, checking off another one is pretty special, and I know it'll be special for myself and my family and friends, and, just trying to soak in every single second, because, you only get this one time, and it's going to be really cool.